Hello there. Welcome back to Weekly Tips and Tactics. I know we've been talking a lot over the last few weeks, especially since the beginning of the year, about assertiveness. But, I think it's just an important piece. So I want to bring in something that I find to be extremely useful, especially when we're in a recovery journey, a life recovery journey, a lifestyle recovery journey. Because here's the deal, in recovery, we are what? We are creating the life that we want to experience. We are creating it in a vision of how we want to experience living. We are learning how to show up, how we want to truly see ourselves going forward, and how we want to be received by others. So when we're talking about assertiveness, we've already established that assertiveness is not rigid. We've established that it's not blunt and stern all the time. Maybe sometimes it's appropriate, but when we're in a recovery journey, ultimately what we, are really needing to do in regards to our communication is learn how to show up and present ourselves in a fashion that allows us to feel like we are being genuine, authentic, transparent, honest, kind, caring, giving, but also being heard, seen, and received in the fashion that we would like. So in order to do that, I think it's really important that we bring in active listening. Now, active listening means that we're listening with the intention of understanding the other person first. We are in a space of pause, if you will, if you want to go back to some of the tactics from way beyond or way earlier. And we're in a pause. We're not even formulating a response yet. We're definitely not gearing up for that reaction. We are in a place of pause. We are truly listening with the intention of understanding whatever that is that our environment is presenting, if that's somebody speaking, whatever it is, so that we can hold space for that. And so in active listening, this requires that before we move forward, we actually confirm or validate that we understand what's going on, what's happening. And so a lot of times that looks like making sure we say to that other person, this is what I hear you saying. This is what I received from whatever is just happening. The words that you were saying, the actions you were doing, this is what I received. Is that accurate? Is that in alignment with what you think, see, feel, experienced, meant, intended, etc.? And when you get that full buy-in of yes, okay, do you mind if I share with you how I think, feel, see, need, want, desire, whatever it is going forward? Like, can I add my input here? Are you willing to receive that? Because if the person's not willing to receive, perhaps, anyway, if that person's not willing to receive, it's going to fall on deaf ears. So one of the things we want to work on is before we even start a situation of communication is making sure that whatever communication we're entering in, that we find out, is this going to be a collaborative space? Or is it a space where somebody is just asking me to listen? Am I asking somebody to just listen? Or am I inviting to a conversation? Or am I being invited to a conversation? We have to know what is our platform before we can do this. So active listening, there's a lot of layers to this, but I promise you, you need and want this in your recovery journey. Because no matter what it is you're recovering from, there are reasons why we end up in this conditioned way of experiencing our environment. There's a reason why we stay in our knee-jerk, impulsive reactivity space that continues to place us in a stance of being derailed by external forces, by external things. It's a reason why we reach to things outside of us to bring us peace, joy, comfort, and relief. Because if you get into a back and forth that's real uncomfortable, the first thing is I want to get out of here. I want to bolt. I want to tell you to pound sand. And then I'm going to go to my first distraction, my first self-soothing tactic that comes to mind, whether it's effective, healthy or not. So we need this. So anyway, I put down some information below. Please take a listen. Again, there was a live earlier this week that I shared quite a bit about being assertive and taking control of your own life. This is our weekly skill set tips and tactics, but you can also always go back to Mastering the Drop, where we had an amazing conversation about it. You can find that on Facebook, on the Turning Leaves business page on Facebook, but you can also find it right here on YouTube, wherever it is that you follow. Go back and listen so that you get the whole concept for the week, and then reach out. This isn't something that I expect for you to, in my brief conversations about it, be able to incorporate into your life how you need it and how you see it. My job as a coach is to coach you how to add, edit, delete, change, shift, morph, make it your own, and help have it be effective in your life for you. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week.